The creature who ate names it grew stronger each time someone was forgotten. One boy, after losing his sister, vowed never to forget, and faced the beast with only a whisper. Marcus shivered when the cold wind came from deep in the forest. He squeezed the silver coin in his pocket, the one he fished out from the fountain after his sister made a wish. Yes, his sister. He had a sister. What was her name again? He heard a crunch of snow behind him. Startled, he turned around, only to see the town's baker slowly approaching. Kid, how stubborn are you? I told you to give this up. You're going to get lost in this forest. The large man rested his hands on his knees to steady himself. Marcus pursed his lips. There was no point in saying anything, they never listened anyway. He took a step deeper towards the trees. Marcus, what are you doing? The baker sighed, but didn't try to stop him. This was as close as he was willing to get to this damned forest. I want to remember who she was. Marcus kept clutching the coin in his pocket. Last time he let go of it, he felt like he was forgetting something very important. Now he will make sure to remember. His sister was his only family in the world. They vowed to always stay with each other. Then why did something as important as her name slip from his mind? Was she ever real at all? The boy shook his head. It didn't matter. He knew there was something he was supposed to find in this forest. A day passed. His surroundings looked the same, no matter where he looked. The wolves howled. Marcus didn't stop. He wouldn't be much of a meal anyway, he comforted himself. Maybe it would be better to turn around. Maybe he was wrong all along. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to forget. The others in his town didn't even bother to try to remember. They had bigger problems. The supplies were running low. The merchants didn't arrive like they usually would. Frankly, it was as if the world itself forgot about their little town. But Marcus made a promise. And he wasn't the type of kid who would break a promise. So he squeezed the coin with his hand, and he wrapped the other arm across his shoulder to warm himself up. He was used to the howls and rustling winds. But when he heard a deep hum, he froze in place. This one was different. This wasn't the sound of any animal he knew. He exhaled. His breath turned to mist in the cold. He was hungry. He was tired. But at last, he was going to face whatever made everyone forget. He needed no weapon, for this wasn't a creature one could defeat with steel. He followed the humming and faced nothing. Just an empty clearing in the forest. But the humming was louder. Its source. The very center of the clearing. Marcus approached. The surrounding trees seemed to be watching his every move. But the closer he got, the harder it was to remember why he came here. The confusion filled him with a deep sense of wrongness, like something was twisting in his stomach. He took out his sister's silver coin. It left deep grooves in his palm. He must have been squeezing it too hard during the journey. The sight of the gleaming coin helped keep his mind together. The boy struggled forward with renewed determination. But his stiff, frost-bitten hand betrayed him. An involuntary twitch of his fingers, and the coin slipped out from his grip. The world seemed to slow down with every rotation of the coin. The gleaming silver reflected in Marcus's wide-open eyes. It didn't even make a sound when it disappeared into the pile of snow. Marcus fell to his knees, panic on his face as he rummaged through the snow, desperate to find the last keepsake of why was this coin important again? The boy stared at his red, frozen hands. Something was missing. Something he had promised never to lose. A name. A girl. No, a sister. Before he knew it, he found himself in the middle of the clearing. The humming grew louder, and mist swallowed the clearing. At some point, his actions became completely senseless. The boy started seeing semi-transparent faces surrounding him from all sides. They seemed to be laughing at him. He didn't know what he was searching for. He didn't understand what he was doing here or where he came from. It felt like getting slowly erased, forgotten, but there must have been some reason why he was searching through the snow. There must have been something he had to find. Finally, his fingers touched something, and as if by instinct, his hand clutched the object. The hardness, the texture. It was the silver coin. And with the sensation of the cold metal, came a whisper, a voice of his sister he somehow forgot. Marcus, that's right. Marcus was his name. He was here to look for traces of his sister, but he almost faced the same fate as her. Thanks, Alicia, he whispered, his eyes widened, as the surrounding mist screeched. It sounded like a starving cat, if you just stole its fresh rat. The winds picked up, throwing Marcus to the ground, like the air around him was convulsing in pain. To be fair, the boy did just put his hand in the creature's throat, and pulled out its half-digested dinner. He wouldn't be too happy in its place either, Alicia, the boy muttered again. The air pressure pushed him to the ground. A pitiful screech came from behind his head, and then the pressure receded. Marcus slowly opened his eyes. His heart was thumping. He pushed himself up and looked around. Gentle snowflakes were falling from the sky. The boy looked around. Alicia. His voice was shaking. An echoing screech coming from further and further away was his only answer. His shoulders lowered, but despite the burden of remembering, his steps back to the town felt lighter. When he got back, a crowd of villagers was waiting for him at the edge of the town. I remember my mother, my grandpa. How could I forget? Almost everyone in the crowd was either confused or in tears. They finally started to remember. And with every name remembered, they starved the creature more. Months passed. The town survived winter. The caravans once again visited their little community. But something stood out wherever you looked. People started holding on to keepsakes. Some wore old rings, others hanged pictures in their houses, and Marcus. Little Marcus walked everywhere wearing an unassuming pendant around his neck. If you were to open it, you'd find a silver coin, always close to his heart.